I just watched some dude who's renting a room back in the back building, I think, with his little dog, walk up on this little dog, minding its own business. This little dog pisses all over the steps and all over this little dog's area. And they let him interact so long that they actually got tangled up. He had to untangle them. Kind of uncouth, accosting somebody's little dog just because they're not watching it. We're about 9 p.m., August 22nd, 2020. Saturday night. Weird. This is a show about ghosts. Vini and I have both experienced on this bed something touching our lower legs. Just touching them, not grabbing them or doing anything like that. Just touching. And there's 2 missing videos. I've been looking for the Splendere da Tiro Corona, Vini and Foxy Bruce in April of 2009, before he was murdered by a neighbor with his mothballs. And also the video, the porn video he did with him getting fucked by an invisible entity, where you could see through the entity and it had his butt cheeks parted, and it had its dick in his butt, and you could literally see up in his ass. It was opened up. This fucker was fucking him in his ass with a great big giant dick. Yeah, he had him opened up wide like he was gaping, and there was nothing there. It wasn't any trick. It was actually him filming it. He had been filming encounters, and he finally got that footage. But it took a lot of film footage for him to get it. The new universe that Lucifer once created is the old universe that was here in this world, the simulation of the world that he created before Yahweh created Satan, aka the ancient AI, to act as governing thought entity here, aka God, G-O-D, you see. And Vini, right now, pre-Vini, from this timeline, the pre-existing timeline, he's in the next timeline manning my body, adding some more details to the manuscripts, the books, the fiction novels that get wrote about everybody in power here, everybody that's, perpetuating what's happening now. Yeah, it's like, they're fiction novels, even though it's what they actually did here. So he's writing a factual, account. But when they get time looped after they die and spiritually executed to never get born, they become fiction novels. And then, what a lot of you don't realize is you can look at the Revelation of John now, and you can see that this stuff has been included in it. Okay? And it wasn't there before. Vini had to go to the future timeline and write the novels about it that include this, the volumes of the novels, okay, the chapters, whatever. They're actually in volumes, right? Y'all who graduate to the next timeline, look for these volumes, okay, and you'll see, wow, because you'll remember you read the Bible, you read the Revelation of John, and it didn't have what they're doing now in it. But then you saw that Vini went to the future timeline, and I came here to keep, this going, the ruse going. And then Revelation of John suddenly included this, as if it's always been there. Do you see, this is how Vini superseded, this is the great work that Vini did for Christ, pre-Vini did for God, Yah. Because they crucified the clone of Yah for fighting against them for changing the scrolls and changing the Bible. So, since they did that, it created the depth for the reciprocity, where now the boundaries can be crossed that Vini, pre-Vini, can travel back and forth in time and fix the Bible back, put the truth back in it, you see? And that's what many don't realize, is when they're reading the Revelation of John, They're reading about entities who were undone. And they're reading about them from the future. You see? So all these entities in power, everyone who's rich and famous, everyone who got controlled by these entities, you know, the baby blood drinkers and stuff, you know, they want you to choke out now and then die out after your adoration of them. It's like fiction novels, baby. This is how we're taught for 1,000 years. Vini is actually the entity who does that teaching. He doesn't do it in a conventional manner. You don't come to church and sit around and listen to him talk. He writes you nice novels. And because only intelligent entities graduate to the next timeline, there's no stupid people who would need to be entertained by sports or video games or violence, you know, movies and drama and rap. You know, there's none of this dumb stuff in the next timeline. There's no dumb people to appreciate it. Oh, the riffraff is gone now. You see, all it took was elevating welfare phantoms into positions of power and wealth and fame, and deluding them into thinking that there's something special who should be allowed to dictate what the world is, and give them the ability. Just keep giving them rope. Yeah, keep going down that cliff now, and don't let them know that the slack's about to run out. Oh, Vini is just as diabolical as Yah, and Yah wants to let them come here, pre-exist, mess up, get time looped as their victims and as slaves to repay it all back, and to get spiritually executed to never get born to perpetuate any of it. Do you see? And then their escrow they laid down to come up in here for a chance to get to the real world and really exist, that escrow gets dumped on us. And that's why they're watching some of y'all. Those of you who you're following the videos. You're following what's really happening. Yeah, because, well, some of y'all are just like Vini. Pre-Vini, you're time traveling now. You're time jumping. Yeah, you're dual spirits now. You have the ultimate duality. The duality that they will never create with any technology or anything that they can put into a human body. Okay? So that's why some of y'all have noticed you're being watched. Because, well, they know that they dicked with some of us. They experimented, so to speak, targeted us. And when they did that, they actually enhanced our abilities that they tried to decimate. Isn't that ironic? Had they not dicked with us, we might not have even come into these positions that we're in now, you see. And Pre-Vini has changed a lot already. I mean, he must have did some fast writing, but you know, time is different in the next timeline. So, yeah, take a peek now. You'll see.
It's a shame that little dog's not allowed to smell like French toast anymore. For 5 years, he had a solid identity. Now it's all being questioned and switched up on him and shit. He's got to smell like 5 different scents now. It's just fucked up. Yeah. This shit Pre-Vini dealt with, yo. It's like, no wonder motherfucker just wanted revenge, just wanted dead humans everywhere. I feel like that too. It's like, damn. It's like they never stop fucking with the guy, you know. Every fucking time he fucking backs up, they fucking draw another line even closer to him. It's like, what the fuck, man? It's like, don't you realize you don't even exist? You're fucking with an existing up in this shit. Pre-Vini dealt with no small amount of sabotage. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, ain't nobody in this timeline can tell you the first thing about Pre-Vini, especially nobody who claimed to be his family. Not even his ex-wives knew anything about him, okay? I mean, come on, would you do the stuff to a duality entity whose dual timeline, if you know that the other timeline might see it, wallop the dog fuck out of you, even if Vini doesn't want it. I don't know. We're seeing the elevation of stupidity and drudgery, you know? This is the only place you can find where the species is elevated and looked up to and admired as role models. Everything that should have been either incarcerated or put to death. Ain't that something? It's like, you can't find nobody famous that ain't like that, especially now, right? They're calling for your death. Put this on. It's like, look how the revelation of John now includes it. Now that Vini's been gone for a while, he did some writing. Yeah. You know, in that timeline, he writes with his hand, and then it's taken and transcribed. Yeah. So they require somebody to proofread what he hand wrote, compare it to what was transcribed, and make sure nothing was lost. And a lot of y'all don't understand. How did the revelation of John get changed? We don't remember it. This is the way we remember it. Is it? Y'all are being subjected to some crazy scientific experiments. Okay? And every time one of them is perpetuated, it's taken and put in the next timeline and sent back from the future all the way back beyond us to get included in the revelation of John. The Mandela effect is ongoing now. I mean, you know what y'all know is the Mandela effect. It would actually be more correctly known as the Nibiru effect. Because, well, if you look on the hieroglyphs, you can see there was evidence of an advanced civilization. It was here just prior to the days of Noah, requiring the days of Noah. And they built cities. They didn't rape the planet of the coolant, you know, stealing the oil. They used free energy from the ionosphere. And that made it easy when the time-traveling angels of death went back to undo them. That made it easy to do away with all evidence of them. The hieroglyphs probably were allowed to stay for the benefit of this generation. The few who will graduate from this timeline, from this generation, the most evil, downward striated, rancid of all ancestors is here. They think they're important. They thumbs up and thumbs down videos like that matters. Did you rescue an animal today? Then it don't matter what you think. For real, it doesn't matter. It matters so little what you think if you ain't equal to Vini rescuing animals with your life and your resources and your time. You mean so little that I make the comments on BitChute where you can't even discuss them. Because, well, you know, there are some welfare phantoms up in here who are so angry they don't exist and they won't try to exist. So they just keep attacking us, you know. They even create accounts just to troll. You can't find anybody in the next timeline or the real world who ever created an account to troll. Never. If they just created an account to make comments, psh, good riddance. Yeah. Oh, you like doing this? That's what gets done to your life every time you fucking do that, stupid. Those who are in power over you are utilizing the debt you accrue to enact reciprocity against you. That's why. Oh, you don't care about animals? Everything got took from them? Cool. Just take it off from you then. Yeah. Oh. Whatever an animal deserves, that's what you deserve. Okay? That's the new law. Parameters of the paradigm. You sitting there in your grandma's basement, all pimple faced, eating your boogers, fucking making negative comments and thumb doming and shit, trolling. You ever hurt an animal? Yeah. Well, that's why we have the ongoing Mandela effect, because we're constantly hunting. hunting you. Yeah. You see, we're letting the ones in power stay up there, and the ones who are famous stay there to do this to the masses. Yeah. Because what we're all done watching your wretchedness disguised as life, disguised as human existence. None of you care about nothing that's important. You ain't got time to worry about dope. You ain't got time to worry about getting high. You ain't got time to worry about getting drunk. You ain't got time to worry about getting smooth data. You ain't got time to worry about the next video game. You ain't got time to worry about no iPhone. You ain't got time to worry about what somebody said in the video unless you're going to take it and utilize it to benefit and graduate up out of here. You ain't got time for none of the shit that they programmed you to do. You ain't got time to torture an animal. If you tortured an animal, you better be busy with the rest of your life, aggressively rescuing and ministering to animals. Yes, you better. That's the only way out of the time loops is those animals. But you can also go down for, get time loop to shit that just got included in stories if you tell the story, right? Like you carelessly tell a story about, I don't know, a baby that was victimized in some way, right? It's like, well, look out now. You made conversation of that, so now you get to be that. There you go. Should have cared more about it and had more respect than to talk about it, right? So in the next timeline, it's so beautiful. There's no sports arenas. There's no sports. There's no, tech giants. There's no social media. There's no retards who would be entertained by any of this stuff. There's no rap. There never was rap. There never was a rapper. You won't find one rapper or one of their ancestors in the next timeline. Their ancestors had to pay for what they did for the baby blood drinkers. Fake Jew. The pseudo Jew. Free Barabbas. Crucify Christ. I just spit all over Vini's laptop. Oh, Vini. Your old ass technology. Your unexistent technology. Non-existent. This laptop don't exist. This shit gets undone. All them Trump towers you see in Hilton hotels never got built. There you go. It's a beautiful thing we got going up in here. Because instead of shaming this species into, stopping what they're doing to become valuable so that they could exist, they just become more antagonized by us pointing at them and laughing and make more negative comments and thumbs down and increase more death to themselves. It's so beautiful. And then those on top do some more stuff. Yes. Who got up in this shit? Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I ain't saying it to myself, I'm saying it to you. Because, well, if you can't travel between timelines, I'm a god compared to you. There's a reason you can't go. You should be concerned. Yes, you should. If you can't connect to the next timeline you, maybe there ain't a next timeline you. Yeah. You ain't gonna find nobody in these churches today and over there. Why? 70 million homeless animals up against 2.2 billion Christians who think it's more important to dump money in the church for their pedophile pastor, their adulterer pastor to have money than to go rescue an animal and apply their lives and resources to causing those animals to have good lives that they can reach out for. Yeah. Oh no, you can't get them to do nothing good. There are people quick to do evil, but to do good, they rooted like a tree. Yeah. You know who that's talking about. I guess just about everybody that ain't following us, right? Yeah. Because, well, if you're following us, you're trying to do good shit with your pre-existence here. Because you understand your very existence relies on it. It's like it relies on it. Your pre-existence determines whether or not you exist. We tried to tell the rich fuckers that, but they were too stupid. They got lied to by their oracles. We put the lies in their oracles' mouths.
when they used deception against Yah and Lucifer, called Satan the ancient AI Lucifer, when Lucifer hates it and battles against it. And then they did this shit where they changed up the Bible. They put pseudo-Jews up in the scribes, and they killed Christ for trying to tell you. He told you that the scrolls were being doctored and contaminated, and that doctrine was being changed. So what do? They take the fake doctrine and they have you all learn it and accept it as from God. It's like, wow, it's crazy as hell. The dudes who are in power now over all the rest of the world started in power over the church and the original texts. Okay? They crucified the clone of Yah for that shit. They failed to seal it with a fail-safe against being modified or fixed back. Right? That's how Vini and I are repairing the Bible and putting the sound doctrine back in it. But as fast as we can do it, they're undoing it. So it's like some things will leave. Like the stuff that they feel it's a gloat. They didn't just see this and decide to walk it out. This got wrote because of them. Okay? These demographics of hate speech writers disguised as rappers, who they write all this nigga shit, and then they cry like little babies when somebody white says nigga. You can't find none of them or their rancid fucking mamas in the next timeline. You can't find none of the retarded, rancid pseudos who call themselves capitalizing on their, position. And they didn't just capitalize monetarily. Look. All they gotta do is lie to you. They can tell you that the air is dangerous and you won't breathe. They could tell you it's dangerous to open your eyes and pretty soon you'll be walking around like this. They didn't tell you they're putting it in the water because they are. Wow. Vini wrote all the things that happened to you. So all you had to do was read the Revelation of John to see what Vini wrote in the next timeline to, protect yourself. I mean, if you could get to the Revelation of John before they changed it back. You see? There's, they did this with the Mandela effect where it was a big thing, a whole bunch of changes. So that you would think that it has to be like that. That there can't be ongoing interdimensional timeline change. But it's happening. We're creating a new universe out of this timeline and the next timeline combined. It will be safe for animals. Those who will work with their own two hands will be prosperous. Teachers will be making money, while those who play with balls don't even exist. There you go. So don't worry if you're a teacher who you couldn't afford food. Well, these bugs the Jews bought were famous for playing with balls. Don't worry. They're time looped as slaves. They're time looped as victims of their stupid fans who could actually be entertained by sports, which is a form of violence, and it does ripple effect over into them not caring about animals, hurting animals, neglecting animals. Sometimes hurting them for sport to entertain their feeble little minds that could be entertained by watching a bunch of little fags run around playing with balls. It's like, hey, ain't you dumb watching them little fags? They won't go get a real job. They want a virtual signal to you. Ain't none of them going to the schools and giving a percentage of their exorbitant pay to the teachers. They got to deal with the little monsters that are their fans. Monsters that are raised by their fans. Oh no, you don't see them do nothing good. Their non-tamperable, non-deletable spirit memory tells all the story we need to see when we get up in the judgment seat watching the Jumbotron. Of all the things they thought, all the things they failed to do, that they were supposed to do, and all the things that they busied their time with doing, while they were supposed to do other stuff. Yeah. Need to get out of your mama's basement, stop eating your boogers, wash your face, clean the boogers out of your eyes, put some deodorant on, spray yourself with some fucking cologne. Get out there and help something. Used to be I could tell you go get a job, but that ain't happening no more. They closed that down. So the only way you got left to get something in your non-tappable, non-deletable spirit memory that can even begin to combat what you put in there being programmed by them is you get up and you defy them. No more sitting around in front of this thing. You ain't missing nothing. All that's getting pumped out here is propaganda now. Yeah, and all our truth is being took down as hate speech. But you can still watch puppies and kitties get lit up and tortured. Oh yeah, you can still watch that. Because, well, welfare phantoms are welfare phantoms. Welfare phantoms do what non-existent welfare phantoms do, And it was all prophesied from the future, back in time before us, for you now. Pre-Vini did that for you. Your preacher didn't do that. Your preacher wouldn't go through what Vini's going through right now. Your preacher wouldn't let some other people who claim to be Christian come take everything away from him, rape him as a child, take all of his stuff, all his life, and yet gossip about him and call him evil. Yeah. Your preacher would never endure what Vini did. Your preacher would never, for 6 years straight, deprive himself of anything before he got up and got on his hands and knees and sifted 5 litters, fed homeless kitties, fed rescue kitties, cleaned up their messes and tended to them before he even made a cup of coffee, put his teeth in or made himself breakfast. Your preacher would never do that. No. Your preacher is a soft little, I don't know, he's no more godly than you in your most sinful moment. You need to understand that. Yeah. If your preacher ain't got no rebuke for you to rescue you from what you're doing, your preacher don't know no better, and he ain't going nowhere. God don't know him. Now remember the prophecy that at the judgment seat, while we're looking at the Jumbotron, and you can see, hey Lord, look at the Jumbotron. I rescue, I saved people in your name. I caused the blind to see. I caused the deaf to hear. I made the lame to walk, and I raised the dead in your name. And Christ still, depart from me. I didn't fucking know you. Don't matter what you did. You could have been one of them freaks that took it by force, brute force, which we had to undo all of them. Because if you got the mentality, you're going to take it by brute force. We're going to take you by brute force. There you go. See, because everything is supposed to be you're willing, not tricked, not deluded. Okay? If you're deluded into doing it, then they cross the lines. They're violating boundaries. And that's why we're allowed to do this. And I encourage more of you to get on Vini's level with this time jumping. Because if we can create an army of us who are interdimensional, it don't matter what they do to us. They could lock us in a deprivation chamber. We're still going to defeat them. Yeah. Because we don't need to use our bodies. Our spirits just need to transfer them. That's something they ain't understanding. Is that what we're doing is spiritual. And it supersedes everything physical that they hope to do here.